That was not English.
There's blankets in there.
Yes, there are. But
No.
But you can't have one. Hold on a second. Hold on. No, you can't have it. Don't look. Don't look.
I
Don't
think
look.
that's another pillow. I don't think it's
Yeah.
a blanket.
Here. You get this one.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a special blanket just for you.
Thank you, by the way.
I folded it earlier today, just for you.
No, you didn't.
I folded it, but then Carrie folded it again because I don't fold things properly. I know how you feel.
I was thinking about our family and about where you guys have come from. And it's like, I realized that you didn't have a clue what anybody looked like. So I pulled out, these are the pictures that I keep in my house. And this is a couple of books that I want to tell you about.
Hey, Jim,
See, he's part of the group.
what day is it? Who's here? What's going on?
I believe it's March 1st, 2025, and we're all here.
You're
And
right.
Grandma's going
We're
on.
all here.
84 years young.
And
Here we are. Everyone's here but
Graham,
Graham,
And
Evan,
Geneve,
Ryan.
Landon.
Brian.
so everyone.
But everyone
Pretty
else.
much everyone.
Well,
Kevin's not here.
Sadie's here.
And
most,
Sadie.
most everybody's here of the oldest. The oldest are here. And so
Aw.
Oh.
Oh, that's a great picture.
now this picture is. It's sticky. Okay. This is of Sandy's dad and his sister and Ruth.
April
Sandy's mom.
April 27, 1968.
Yep, that's when the date was put on there. I have no idea what would that be. Just the date was put on there. But George, this is Ruth. This is Sandy's mom, and this is George's sister, Katie.
Katie.
And there are Katies in the family because Ruth's sister was a Katie, and Scott's daughter, Scott and Deb's daughter is Katie. She's the youngest Katie. And there's this gal who's Katie, and there are a couple other ones in the family. And when I have gotten a family tree, we'll be able to trace them a little better. So that's Sandy's parents, and
Does this get stuck back onto something, or may I remove the tape from the back?
it gets stuck onto here so that I can
Okay.
take it back and put it where it was.
That's Grandpa, Grandma, and
Katie,
Grandpa's,
George's sister.
Grandpa's
Oh,
sister.
Yeah, Sandy's aunt.
Yes.
That's Aunt Katie.
Yep.
I see that.
You want to see?
These are. That's Mom's parents.
And this is my mom and dad,
Kemps.
Yep.
Kemp, George, Lloyd and Barbara Kemp. And she did not like to be called Barb. She was, she says she didn't belong on a, well, wasn't a barb on a rose or a barb on,
Oh, barbed wire.
yeah, barbed wire.
You
Yeah.
want to be Barbara.
Barbara.
Okay.
And it was interesting. We have a Barbara at Friendship Village, and I said, "Do you go by Barb or Barbara?" And she said, "Barbara." I'm not going to be a Barbara. It was like, sounded just like my mother saying it.
Your mom's name is Barbara.
Barbara Jean Bell. So Barbara Jean Bell. And then I want you to think about, okay, this is my grandfather, my mom's dad. And now this is his second wife. His first wife died in childbirth, a boy. They had 5 girls, and the last child died shortly after birth, was a boy. And he was the most gentle,
Who?
kind, thoughtful.
The
sort of-
boy?
The husband.
Your mother's father?
My mother's father.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see, I mean, Grandma was not 5 feet, and he was over 6 feet. When he was a math teacher and a coach of whatever they needed coaching, and eventually was superintendent of schools
In Minnesota.
in Laverne, Minnesota. And then he became the president of the group of superintendents of schools in Minnesota. And what I'm looking for is this object, trophy, whatever you want to call it, of that he was given, I think, when he retired.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a whole lot of writing on it, and I don't remember what it is. So I'm looking for that item. I got rid of a lot of things, but I didn't get rid of that. And
So this is Barbara's
Dad.
dad and mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And I want you to tell me who looks like Grandpa.
Well, hang on, real quickly. Barbara's dad and mom are in this picture.
Mm-hmm.
So is this the mother that gave birth to Barbara?
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. His first wife died in childbirth.
I understand that, but his first wife had 5.
My
His first wife
mom's parents.
had no children. I mean, she died with the first.
With the first. I
Yeah.
thought you said she'd had 5 girls. And then with
no.
the last boy, she had
No.
died.
This woman had 5 girls and then the boy.
And lived through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who are the girls and the boys she gave birth to?
What?
Who are the girls and boys? Oh, wait a minute. That woman gave birth to 5 girls and 1 boy, and your mother grew up with 5 girls and 1 boy. Who's the boy?
He died.
He died.
shortly after he was born. And it's just, to me, it's a sad story because Grandpa had 1 boy who died, with Caroline was her name. And then, Caroline died and the boy died. I don't know his name or whether he was ever named. But then Grandpa moved from someplace in Kansas to Laverne, Minnesota, where he was a teacher. And my mom, well, all 5 girls grew up at the beginning, were born in Laverne, but the first 2 grew up in Laverne during, maybe it was the Depression, I'm not sure. The 2 youngest, Barbara and Dorothy in Virginia, whom you met. Remember with Dorothy in Virginia playing bridge, I guess, something, anyway.
No, Squeak.
Okay, it was some
Yeah.
game like that.
Fast.
When my mother was dying, her youngest 2 sisters came to visit.
Dorothy, Virginia.
Yeah, Dorothy
Yeah.
in Virginia, yeah. And did they have fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
They played and played. So, do you look at Grandpa Bell that's being passed around? Do you look at that picture and identify any of the 4
Where's
of you
that
guys?
picture?
John, take it.
Oh, John is taking.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see. I don't really see anybody in him necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, he's tall. I just don't the facial structure. I'm not sure if I really am
To me,
seeing. I mean, the eyebrows. I don't know.
look at his jawline.
I don't know.
To me, he looks like John.
John?
John, yeah.
Like with the jowls like that.
And you know,
What strikes me about your brothers is that they're so kind.
and the curly hair. I mean, to me, the curly hair off of it.
Right.
That's it.
Sure. And then there's this picture, and this is my dad's dad and his mom. So Henry and Ida.
So flattering.
Oh, yeah?
John, spitting image. That's fascinating.
And my mother.
The toilet looks.
Just like you.
It's the hair.
Sorry, I needed a moment to closure on this one. You were saying about.
Who does that look like?
I don't know.
Which of the four guys does that look like?
You.
Ken? I
He can move
I feel like I had a 25% chance here, Mark.
Multiple choice.
'Cause-
Now,
That looks
who's
like that looks like a hotel, and that looks like
That's your dad's parents?
yeah. Who are these people?
my dad's parents.
Her grandparents. Your great grandparents.
That guy.
My mother looks at that.
I mean, if
picture-
anybody, Chris, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot like her.
I think that's a spitting image of Chris. That's a that's your doppelganger.
Look at the jawline. I mean, it just to me, it's just.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
It's
that is.
striking.
Eyes.
It's
I mean,
striking.
that's yeah.
It's his eyes and his
Striking.
eyebrows.
I mean, that is literally that's a
The
spitting
eyebrows.
image of Chris.
Yeah, it
his
is.
That's absolutely.
Creepy.
I mean, that's so creepy.
So similar.
Yeah, I had not seen that.
And he was he was in bed for the last 7 years of his life, which was all the time my parents were dating. And my mom said that it was like every time they were on went to a special dance or something, Ida would call and be sure that Henry was dying, and they needed to go check on him. Made her so mad.
Oh, Henry. Yeah.
Yeah. Ida was not real happy with losing her son to my mother, apparently. And then just a couple of
So
things.
he was dying for 7 years.
Well, he had Hodgkin's disease. He was bedridden for the last 7 years of his life.
That's
I've been
Hodgkin's
for the
disease.
last 7 years.
That's not
Was
good.
Hodgkin's disease, Jim?
Not Hodgkin's lymphoma. I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever
Was-
he had.
Yeah, I don't know. It was, my
Usually it's a
understanding, it
lymphoma.
was a blood disease.
Yeah.
Would that be right?
Yep.
Okay, well, that I brought because it has a list of what's upstairs in your.
I see.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I was thinking about this morning about the parenting that I was given. It was so ethical, so broad, and so free, you know. Just and when we were breaking down the basement at 2536, somebody pulled this. I had that the bomb shelter I had just said to people, you go in and get whatever.
Right.
Well, one of your friends pulled this off the shelf, steam, air, and gas power, which is my dad's. And in it were things that I want to photograph, and just because my dad, during the period of time after he graduated from college and couldn't get a job as an engineer because he wasn't 21 yet,
Right.
he went to the library and just the librarians would give him books. He said he didn't know anything about literature, so they just kept feeding him books. And so you'll find random quotes in his books, like The Builder. An old man traveling alone on a highway came at evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man paused in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, are you wasting your time in building here? Your journey will end with the passing day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at eventide? Then the builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I've come, he said, there follows after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm has naught to me. To that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must pass on the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building this bridge for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a teacher and his whole life. He just,
Yeah.
First there was the darkness, but the light overcame the darkness. For others before had seen the light, and they set the light forth into the open room, that even the darkest corner may be illumined.
Nice.
And this was in his,
Yeah. It is steam, air, and gas power book. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's where we would all put a quote, right? And
Yeah, he was a thinker.
And this is all. I don't know what those are. I tried to read them, and they're difficult to read. But they're notes that obviously he thought were important in the book itself.
Right.
And then book is The Virginian, which was a Western that was very popular at the time it was written in 1902. In fact, it's dedicated to Theodore Roosevelt. So The Virginian is a thriller and of out west kind of thing. And in the front, my dad has written, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Sir Edward Burke
Wow.
Yeah.
sums up this book.
Damn.
And I thought, that is such a quote for today. And I thank you, John and Kate, for what you're doing. It has inspired me to write to my senators, and
Well,
you know, that your five somethings,
5 calls.
five calls. Yeah, I mean that is the most wonderful website. It has so much on it. So I thought that to me is a helpful to have read today. as I have been reading the news and catching up. And then I think you will recognize this. Right? Did you recognize that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Aw.
Yeah, I mean, that I have,
Where'd you get that from?
you know, I don't know. I've had it for a long time. We used to have it up in our, in my college room. So it's been, I've had it since I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I've had it up in the apartment. Did John get a picture of it?
You got it, John?
No, but I will.
So, I was just thinking about your roots, and everybody in your background was somebody who did the best they could with what they'd been given, and was very
Nope.
ethical, very not just kind and loving, but also
Cool.
ethical,
Right.
and helped people that they were working with to a level of ethics that was higher than, was sort of the highest in that
Right.
community. Made other people, helped other people to live to their best. And I really, to me, that's a wonderful heritage that you guys have. Want to play a game?
Yeah, I mean, Dad did specialize in glaucoma surgery, not because it was lucrative or because it was
Yeah.
glamorous. It was took longer to do surgery, and he didn't get paid as much as cataracts.
Right.
And he did it because somebody needed to be doing that in the Midwest, in Michigan,
Yep.
and he would get the referrals from the local ophthalmologists because they didn't want to deal
Yeah.
with it
Right?
because it didn't pay as much.
Yep.
Yeah. And the patients took longer to see and longer to do the surgeries, and he didn't get paid as much, but people need to be able to have eyesight.
Right. And he also thought that he had so many blacks who because they chelate differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they that the trabecular meshwork, whatever it is, that was supposed to stay open would close
Yeah.
quicker with the African American population,
Right.
and there were no real breakthroughs with glaucoma surgery for decades because I don't know why, but I mean there simply weren't
There weren't.
until he had his breakthrough with the mitomycin,
Yeah. And
it made a huge difference.
for a while, and I don't know how it's being done now, but for a while it was the only thing anybody could offer to make it so that the flap that let the fluid out from the eyes at a slow rate and could therefore maintain the proper pressure in the eye.
It would stay open.
It would stay open.
Correct, yeah.
And he put a chemotherapy drug on it.
The mitomycin, yeah.
Yeah, for a short period of time. Very calculated how much. And he was able to do tremendous help for people. I mean,
Yeah. It took skill
oh my gosh.
to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with an agent that can be caustic to the eye. So I think that's part of the reticence
Yeah.
for people to do it was they weren't sure if it could be done safely.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
he was so afraid that they were going to take that mitomycin off the market.
Right.
But there were only a few people who knew what he was doing, and one was a salesman Permitamais, and
Mm-hmm.
to try to keep that as a ongoing thing from their company. But I can remember standing by the display that explained what Dad was doing.
Right, he went to the University of Michigan and had awards there, and I remember him talking at that. I was there and him talking at that ceremony.
Were you?
Yeah, I remember him talking about it.
Neat, I don't remember
Yeah.
that. But anyway, it was just to listen to people negate it as a possibility that he couldn't have had that response, that those results that he was reporting, they were coming up with all kinds of reasons why it wouldn't work.
Right. And Dave Verdier was clear at when Dad's funeral. Afterwards, the reception, Dave Verdier was very clear that what Dad did was so incredibly impactful for glaucoma,
Yeah.
for decades, and it was done without any, fanfare. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no, he didn't make money off of it. He didn't, patent it.
Yeah.
He just did it.
Yeah.
And he was 40 years old.
Was he?
I mean, he was young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the
He
guy.
was still driving the red Dasher.
That's how young he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was really. It was also funny. His secretary was so excited when she was part of this process and knew about it, obviously. And when he published the paper and came out, he was invited to several places to speak about it. And so he and I went to Oslo to a conference where he talked about it. And Bunny was sure we were going to go all over the world talking about it. We went to Oslo.
Yeah.
and
Oslo's pretty cool.
and he would talk to people about it on the phone, he'd call, whatever. But he never, so far as I know, he never went anyplace else. Yeah. He was
I was looking at I was trying to find the first article about it and see what year it was,
oh gosh.
because it was SSP. But I can't remember I think he was 40,
Gosh,
45.
Yeah, he was young.
Yeah, I mean, it was always 1991, looks like. Yeah, S.S. Palmer, ophthalmologist, 1991. 1991, when was he born?
30s, 39.
39, so he was
52.
52. Yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
that's impressive.
He was a special guy.
Yep.
He had very special, well, and George. George never was looking for accolades, but he wrote the tax code for the rent code, for during the Second World War,
Yep.
himself.
The rent control.
Rent control.
Rent control in New York. Yeah.
Very interesting. Nobody.
And he talked
to be
to
good.
successive presidents about it.
Hmm?
He talked to successive presidents about the rent control.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yep. That's what Dad said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh. We successfully put your daughter to sleep. You did. Do you want to pass me that other book and I'll put it in here? And
I like this quote too. we are not primarily put on earth to see through one another, but rather to see one another through. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yes.
Listening.
Thank you for adding that. Yeah. And you just find things like that in his. As I'm going through stuff,
Yeah,
I just
it's wonderful.
find. So, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be able to do that all the time. Not quite, but I really am making progress, as you guys say I'm always saying, but I'm done.
Should we play a game?
Anybody else want to say anything? Excuse me.
Do we have an ETA on Graham and Carrie? Might we wanna have another minute of story time before?
I can check
Yeah.
their whereabouts. Sometimes it can be hard
I got
extracting Graham from one of
Yeah.
these parties.
I was
Oh.
wondering.
Well, the bigger thing is, like, you're looking at a basement covered in Nerf bullets.
Mm.
She's like 8 minutes away.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
And it's more about making sure that we help pick up.
Yeah.
Let's, I
So
would say
they're
let's-
5 minutes away.
I was gonna ask, do you get any, Marion, do you get any communication from Larry's family? How are they doing?
The only two people who I would get communication from, Mary, his sister, and
Casey, your husband.
hmm?
Casey,
Mary
your
and
husband.
Casey and Ash.
Casey.
Mary,
Casey, your husband.
Mary and Casey, but it's from Mary. It's not from Casey.
Mary
And
Nash, is that her name?
I mean, I get reports about what's going on, but in that family, well, I think all of the other siblings have died this year.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Mary,
Larry's.
Larry's siblings?
yeah, th- his brother and his brother's wife, who lived in Chico, both died.
Who came back here?
Yeah, they had come back here, but they died here,
Got
I
it.
think. Yeah. And
The husband and wife.
hmm?
The husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's and Mary's, Casey's siblings both died this year. I mean, it's been a tough year for them. Since I moved, I don't know, a year and a half. And then Kara, I might even be able to clear up the pictures. At Christmas time, after Christmas, I contacted Kara, and Kara and I have talked 2 or 3 times, and she sent pictures. Tom is now a custodian of the state, and has enough medication that he's settled down, and his son Ryan is now in high school, I think. Yeah. And Kara sent pictures of them.
Well, hang on. Who's Ryan living with?
Ryan is Tom's
Yeah, when-
son.
yeah.
We know who he is, but
The placenta?
when he has dinner, who's eating dinner with Ryan?
Mom.
Facilita.
Facilita.
In the United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is. I believe, a new job. She first was working in a motel, making beds. Then whoever was owned that motel also owned a business making motorbikes. And she was responsible for assembling the motor part. I mean, she's really good with her hands.
Oh, interesting.
He observed that and hired her.
Huh.
And then I believe he has raised her level, but in that same business.
Neat.
Yeah, I mean, she's managing the money. She's,
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great. Good for her.
Good for her and for Ryan.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
yeah. Orion has had a tough time. He has not produced like you would like to have him. He's played around a lot, but Larry very clearly told Ryan that if he was going to be, that he was very intelligent and that he could go a long way, but that he had to settle down and put his mind to what he was doing. And apparently after Larry died, he remembered and is doing things for Grandpa, or because of Grandpa.
John, do you need a roller? Do you need anything for your back?
Oh, no, just,
Okay.
I mean, I see that over there, I'm just.
Okay. I've got a roller. I've got a neck pulling thing.
I
I've
see.
got a reverse. I've got
You
a
have
inverse.
traction upstairs.
I've got a traction upstairs.
Okay.
I've got an inversion table.
Birthday! Thank you.
I've got a massage table. I have a massage chair.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's good to see
We have all of the things. Do
We have all of the things.
you have any fun over there, Graham?
You
Good.
just couldn't wait
Good,
to
good,
get
good,
back
good.
here.
Oh, thank you.
This is the
thank
real
you.
party.
Yeah.
Animals.
This right here.
Yeah, I'm glad
Party,
that
party.
you got to go to the birthday party. I'm glad you did that.
Actually, Grandma was just saying, maybe we should play a game.
Oh, I know that.
Who farted?
Unless
That's
Grandma,
not a fun
would
game,
rather
Jim. You
just
always
listen
win.
to stories.
Huh?
Would you rather listen to stories or play games?
I don't care.
Oh,
Youth is right.
Okay, who
Well
raised
said.
you? Come on now.
So, what was the highlight of your party?
I don't know. Dodgeball was fun.
Oh, dodgeball.
Until Mom came.
The dodgeball was fun until Mom came.
Okay.
That's usually how that goes. Did they have pizza for you?
Yeah.
Did they have cake for you?
What do you call them? Cupcakes.
Oh, were they good?
Aw. Manny says happy birthday to Marion.
Aw.
Alright.
We do have expensive.
I'm gonna,
That's
let's,
cool.
Cut it.
let's
Wow.
call
Up
it
in
this.
the-
Is that okay?
On the.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I'm,
on the